how people that want to get into, let's say, charging or licensing for sounds, how can you give them any sort of advice when there's obviously all these uh, free sounds out there that everyone kind of knows aren't the best quality, but they're kind of using and undermining kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but there's also a lot of pirated sounds out there. And that, I mean, I would hazard to guess that most of those free sounds that you're finding on most of these sites, there's a significant number of those sounds are copyrighted by third parties and they're owned by someone else, and someone just stuck them on there. And because there's no way to track them, everybody just thinks, oh, it's okay, it's free. Um, so it's a pretty big sore spot with me because even in Hollywood here, there's widespread piracy, and you think in Hollywood that would be the last place for it to happen. Um, so I don't know. It's really sad that we put all this work into it and people will just steal it. But so it's kind of you kind of have to accept that going into this business. And the good thing I can tell you about working at Sound Dogs is I would say of our customers, I would say 99.99% of our customers are honest and good. So there are a lot of good people out there that recognize copyright and intellectual property. So there is a light of hope, obviously. But I guess getting to your question about how to get involved in it, I would say, if you look up Paul Verostek, Airborne Sound, he's got a library, and I've worked with Paul for years. He's got a book you can read on how to get into the business. That would probably be a much more detailed way of looking into it. Because for me, I would say record your sounds, catalog and master your sounds, and then put it on as many websites as possible. Because you're never going to make a huge amount of money from just any one site. You really need to be on all the sites or as many as possible, and that's not in the best interest of Sound Dogs for me to tell you that, but that's what I believe is if you only have a small library, you really need to have it out as distribution everywhere. So,
And so, what was that website again
it's
that
the
people?
honest answer for your business.
Yeah, no, no, appreciate it. And what was the website again that people can check out for that?
I think if you just
Get in
look up
touch.
Paul Verostek, Virostek, he's got he wrote an ebook on how to do this. So I think we worked together for about 6 years, you know,
And that's
and his
Airborne.
library is I think about 22,000 pounds.
Wow. And that's Airborne Sounds, was that
Yeah, yeah, I
.com?
believe that's what it is.
Cool, fantastic.
If I knew more details on how to do it, I kind of just been doing it for so long. I probably forgot how to start, but
Yeah, yeah.
you have to record, you have to master, catalog, add metadata, make distribution deals, and then follow up on the distribution deals. And it's all about volume. You have to have a lot of sounds to make money. You have to have a lot of sounds to make money. And that's where I think people kind of get frustrated, is that they think, they put so much hard work into making 2,000 recordings, and then it's not really paying off hugely. Um, because I don't think it's going to. It's something that it has to augment your other income sources. So, but the more volume you get, the more the money will increase.
And so is it better in terms of that volume aspect to maybe just focus on kind of one area, let's say, again, vehicles or just ambience, or is it better to do it that way, or is it kind of just because there's not necessarily just an instant business out of it, just kind of collecting everything and just eventually seeing what you have a couple of years
The
down the
guys at
line?
Cole in Sweden, they've taken the vehicle approach. There are other guys that only do weapons and guns. Um, I can't really say. I think it's really what you're interested what you're interested in, and what's available to you. You know, because you could do guns, but guns are super expensive to record. So your setup on a gun shoot, you could drop $5,000, $10,000 to do gun shoots in a a canyon that's quiet with lots of different weapons. You just drop 10 grand, you know. So now you have to then master and catalog and produce them and then make your 10 grand back. So if that's not within your wherewithal to do, then maybe you shouldn't be doing guns just yet. Also, too, is your guns are going to have to be as good or better than the established guns that are already out there. So just jumping in and doing something like guns, like I can think of some gun libraries I heard in the past. They sound like it's just like a snap because they didn't have the experience or knowledge how to record guns. So they do this elaborate setup for guns and they don't sound very good. They're not using the right mics. They're not using the right, microphone placement. They're not cataloging or they're not mastering the sounds correctly to make guns sound like Hollywood guns. So I guess you got to just do what's within your means.